This video will contain spoilers for Arc 6, so please do keep that in mind. Anyways, let's begin. I just want to quickly say that I'm about to reach 2,000 subscribers, so what I'm going to do for you guys is once I hit 2,000, I'm going to release a poll and I'm going to list out 5 different theories, and I want you guys to again vote and tell me what theory you want me to make. As stated previously, my Otto and Pandora theory will be coming out shortly, so do wait for that please. If I was to ask you to describe ReZero using genres, how would you define it? Would you call it a thriller, a psychological show, a mystery, a romance, a fantasy, or any combination of the above? But what if I told you that ReZero is also an harem anime? And it has many harem elements, and I believe it qualifies ReZero to be a fully fledged harem anime. Now, it's very important that we define what a harem is, so we're going to be using my anime list's definition of what a harem is, and we all know that everyone uses my anime list. If we were to look at the actual definition for a harem anime, it's about this idea that the main lead tends to end up living with many female support characters, which is actually what happens in ReZero, and that the main lead is shy and awkward, which is essentially who Subaru is as a character. You can pretty much see this every time he interacts with Emilia. He's shy, he's blushing, he doesn't know how to act. On top of that, many of the girls will exhibit distinct personality traits. So if you don't believe me, then let me explain. Crush is obviously someone that's very tomboy-like in nature. She's very masculine. Then you have people like Priscilla, who's like the dominatrix. You know, she has people licking her feet. You have Emilia, she's like your childhood friend that always believes in you no matter what you do. You also have people like Satella, who, when we talk about the Witch of Envy, she's like the yandere who will kill anyone that tries to touch you. You have Ram, who has a very prickly outer shell. She'll poke fun at you, but when the going gets tough, she's actually the one that actually relies on you and can get emotional, as seen in Arc 6. You have Meili, who's like the ditzy younger sister character. You also have Frederica, who's like the older sister, who's also a maid, by the way. You also then have Petra, who's the younger sister maid. You also have people like Beatrice, and Beatrice is like the genius girl who's also a librarian. Now, of course, I'm giving very limited examples. There are many more characters I haven't touched upon, like Shula or Elsa, the witches, Pandora, etc, etc. But I'm just proving a point, this idea that all of these characters will fit into certain niches. Now, I think this is where the controversial point of the video comes, because for a harem anime to exist, many characters will need to like Subaru romantically. So what I'm going to do is to label and name every character that loves Subaru either sexually or platonically. So I just want to get Beatrice out of the way first, because this is obviously platonic love. They have a sibling relationship, and in fact, if you check Arc 5, you'll know that Subaru and Beatrice actually sleep together in the same bed, but as I said, it's purely platonic in nature. I feel like this will be another controversial one, but it's fairly obvious if you've read the light novel and web novel that Emilia is developing feelings for Subaru. As we know, in Arc 4, they do share a kiss. And again, I think the most important thing is in the light novel, Subaru does this very slowly and gives Emilia a chance to push him away. But she doesn't push him away and instead accepts the kiss. Now, do keep in mind, I did make a video about this because Emilia believes that kissing makes babies. And she was perfectly happy to kiss Subaru and have his baby. So I did make a video about this called Emilia's Pregnancy. I swear to God, it's not clickbait. And again, I think is another reason as to why Emilia does love Subaru, but she's not mentally capable of understanding it. On top of that, in Arc 6, as we know, Emilia gets jealous when Shula touches Subaru, and she's extremely happy when Subaru remembers her name. Of course, third is Satella. We know that Satella loves Subaru. Of course, as you know, she appeared in the final Witch's Tea Party, and unfortunately it wasn't in the anime, but she gave a long speech about why she loved Subaru, that they would always touch and kiss, etc, etc. And we know that she loves Subaru. It's pretty much confirmed. I know some of you might be saying that I'm cheating by including the Witch of Envy, but pretty much every character except for Echidna considers the Witch of Envy to be a different entity and different personality to Satella, so as a result of that I'm going to include her on the list as well, but if you want you can remove her from the list. Coming in at the number 5th spot is Petra. Petra loves Subaru, and in fact the reason why she's working as a maid is to get close to Subaru, and Petra actually has her mother's blessing to try and chase down Subaru and become his bride. We learn in Arc 6 that Shula loves Subaru and believes him to be his master. She confesses her love, and then Subaru actually commits suicide so Shula doesn't have to kill him. And of course he gives his "I will save you" speech to Shula just before he dies. In Arc 5 we learn that Sirius loves Subaru by proxy. The reason for that is because she loves Beetlejuice, but because Subaru has the unseen hand, Sloth Authority, Sirius believes Subaru to be Beetlejuice, despite Subaru saying, "Look, I'm not Beetlejuice," and she responds with saying, "One day you will be." Coming in at number 8 is Echidna, the Witch of Greed. Some of you may disagree with this. That's the reason why I got this question and answer straight from the author himself. Someone asked, how would you say "I love you" in Echidna's style? How would that go? And then the author said the 4-page bit or so in volume 12 is what you're looking for. If you're wondering what this is referring to, this is Echidna's speech to Subaru in Season 2, Episode 12, where she offers the contract. And this is essentially Echidna's confession of love to Subaru, which of course Subaru rejects. So we do know that Echidna does love Subaru, but because she doesn't understand human emotion, she can't really convey it. Just like how Amelia cannot convey her love either. Most of you already know this, but Rem obviously loves Subaru more than pretty much anyone, and she's willing to die for him. And most of you forget that she's actually fine with being a second wife, a side chick, so to speak. And in fact, during this embarrassing section in Season 2, Episode 1, Subaru's literally gonna ask Amelia if she's okay with Rem being a second wife, before he's of course interrupted by the "Who's Rem?" scene. And number 10 of course is Petrache. This is a bit of a meme, but I wanted to include her anyway because as we all know, Petrache is best girl. I would also like you to read this question and answer from Tappei himself. This idea that if the royal candidates were to become little girls, they would get attached to Subaru. So when you take that into account, and you look at Arc 7, we know that we have 2 new lollies fully on the team. We have Louis Arneb, who I believe will start liking Subaru romantically. Also, I didn't include her on the list because she only liked Subaru because she had Rem's memories, but now that she doesn't seem to have them, she might actually start liking him. A second prediction is that Meili will come to like Subaru. This is because now she's independent. She's no longer imitating Elsa. She's making choices for her own self. So I believe she will come to like Subaru romantically at some point. My third prediction is that Rem will come to love Subaru a second time. Even though she lost her memories, I feel like she will fall in love with him again. To be honest, does any of this even matter? Well, to be honest, no it doesn't. And the reason for that? Well, Subaru can tell you. Anyways, I hope you enjoyed this video. Let me know if you agree with me or not in the comments and description. And look forward to the poll I release in a few days after I hit 2,000 subscribers. I'll speak to you guys next time.